I was in foster homes and shit like this, and yeah, it was a big news story, and yeah, the biggest child picture porn thing like this, making money off one of the foster families was doing that, and yeah, luckily I kept myself away from that, and my friends, and I showed some of my friends, and my friends showed their parents.
So I'm here with
Oreo.
Nice to meet you, Oreo.
Nice to meet you.
Whereabouts are you from originally?
I am born and raised in Montreal, and I am born and raised in Montreal, and I came to BC for the Olympics. A job that was regulated for me to come here. I worked at the airport. I worked at building roads, blacktop.
Nice. And how was your childhood growing up in Montreal?
Let's say it wasn't one of the most infamous hard doings.
Can you explain how it was?
No. I was in foster homes and shit like this, and yeah, it was a big news story, and yeah.
It was a news story?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
The biggest child picture porn thing like this, making money off one of the foster families was doing that, and yeah, luckily I kept myself away from that, and my friends, and I showed some of my friends, and my friends showed their parents.
So what was it like living with a family like that?
It wasn't good. I went through many different homes. And I learned a lot though. When I got with an educated family, with a brother, adopted brother from Bangladesh, and adopted brother native, and a handicapped sister, and a brother, and all four of them were older than I, and I learned a lot. Yeah.
So how was Vancouver when you first came?
It was hard. It was like a different language. Everything was like slow, laid back, very naturalistic and stuff. I came here on my pilgrimage, and I felt like BC was pulling the energy, and Stonehenge was giving off. So it was kind of like the opposite point from Stonehenge or whatever like that. It's like the safe point.
And how is it compared to Montreal's way of life?
It's a beautiful thing in its own way, right? It's a holistic place here. It's natural. It's an all-giving, saving city that we would like to make better, and yeah, try to make it as much. Since the first day I wore a cross, but I've never worn a cross in my life. I like to think it was an X, like Scotland.
Today's the first day you've worn it?
Yeah. I wore it backwards. So, yeah.
So when you came to BC, can you describe how it was compared to how it is now?
It was the same way. I've been to Toronto, and the conditions in Toronto are unfathomable here compared to New York.
What do you mean by that?
Like 10 times more troubling, or scary or something, like people who are going through these turmoils and trials and tribulations, and coming back day after day stronger, and not doing crimes and you know, trying to do as much as they can. But yeah.
How was it in Toronto?
I was in Toronto. Toronto's okay. I just the politics for the people. It's a big city. It's like New York. You know, you'd have to give me my space a little bit. But those are my brethrens. You know, like grew up with those guys and I like them. Yeah, I like Toronto. It's a big city.
Do you remember when you first started doing drugs?
Yeah, it was weed when I was 16. And then I stopped for 4 years and then went 21 cocaine for a year and then stopped for 4 years and then did heroin when I was 28.
Can you describe what it was like doing heroin?
It was a warm feeling to take. I just the pain away of all those things.
What drug do you do today?
Excuse me?
What drugs do you do today? Like nowadays?
I dabble in the heroin and I try to get on the Dilaudid and stuff like that, so I'm trying to do that. Get on the Dilaudid plan. Dilaudid.
And are you homeless right now?
In a sense, do you want some of this? Where I live, it's harder. Sometimes I wish I'm on the streets because there's people who conspire and stuff like this, man, to maintain their habit and stuff like this, and use people and break into their rooms. And why can't we fix our door and then give them the bill, you know, and not have it for a month? Women's rooms, you know, it's fucking unfathomable. It's like medieval times and stuff like that.
Can you describe what it's like in these SROs?
Some of the staff make it a little bit better. It's good to have the amenities, you know, and to be able to sleep and shower and stuff. But to have that like watching over and like coming into rooms and having the room broken into by people that they could speak to themselves and just give them the warning so it could be taken care of and we wouldn't have to know, and that would be it. You know, it's scary. It puts trauma. It makes things harder for me. It gives me something else to do when I could be reading Serb, when I could be getting jobs done, where I could be helping my brothers and sisters, where I could be putting newsletters out, where I could be helping the planet, you know, like I did when I was in jail. And
What did you go to jail for?
I got acquitted of the charges. I had to plead guilty to something because I did the time and they chose pick whatever you want. I did habeas corpus, and the Justice Minister, Mr. McKay, on behalf of Justice Minister McKay, wrote a letter from Ottawa, said, I, Mr. McKay, on behalf of all the warden's facilities, have held Mr. Brown. I, Mr. McKay, on behalf of all the warden's facilities, we have held Mr. Brown on behalf of all the warden's facilities, held Mr. Brown. The grounds it was illegal. I'm going blank right now because it came to me. So I studied. I went to the library and it all came to me, the Latin words, and I took an oath by reading that to not do anything, and Always stayed around with cops, never had a problem ever for all these years, but it never mattered. Someone would just lie, a security guard would lie, I would stay there and I'd get breaches.
And can you describe East Vancouver for people that are unfamiliar with it?
East Vancouver is a beautiful place, beautiful people who you call ruffians and things like that aren't here to rob you, they're here to help you because they've went through so many struggles. I'm not even recognized by Revenue Canada right now because I couldn't describe my third house I lived in after I had endocarditis, where you lose your memory and aren't able to talk if you miss your antibiotics. Yeah, so that's that. And it sounded like an immigrant folk or something, and they just hung up the phone on me, and yeah, it's been like that twice. But maybe I'm recognized somewhere else. Maybe I filled out a form for something else in the future, you know? I made the Wiccan 101 study program for all BC corrections and Victoria. The 8-spoke wheel, the seasons, the elements, solstices, the equinoxes, all that stuff. Give thanks to Mother Earth, causation, telos, all that stuff, divination, and hope to save my people, all my people. And I study, you know, every day I can have a calendar of the different gods I choose to incorporate in my life and take on their incorporation. Maybe the sun god from Ocean from Africa, maybe 1 week or 1 day and stuff like that. And that's what I do every single day. Just Roman calendar, there's 300 gods. But I'm everything. I'm all the cultures. And yeah.
And what are some of the craziest things or the wildest things you've seen living in the area?
Living where?
What are some of the wildest things you've seen living in this area?
Not having amenities for women. Yeah. Or housing. Or the ability to have some image that shows maybe like a screen that shows, hey, now since it's an emergency, like the Amber Alert, you have to strain your water a day before because they're cleaning the pipes. So maybe not in the newspaper, but like on an image screen or something like that.
And what do you think can be done to help homeless people in the area?
Housing, I think they should be given, how about Orange Hall, was it? And then went back to BC Housing with security there, and then Orange Housing moved somewhere else, and now it's the other thing with what was the other one? It's about acquiring, you know, about something about where do you acquire, you know, and how do you give people information. I'm a liberalist, so I go that way, but I don't expect people to just get something, but put it out there in a way where they're going to get it. That's why Vancouver has done that. That's why Vancouver's on the map. That's why Vancouver is saving the planet. That's why Vancouver has the climate. That's why it's a perfect place by all of us working together in our own way and forgetting about what's happening to the people who are in the streets dealing with those pains.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, bro. And forgetting about what's happening to the people who are in the streets dealing with those pains.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, bro.